The Gold Coast of Cyrodiil, a vibrant hub connecting Hammerfell, Valenwood, and the Somerset Isle, sees constant travel. Home to the city of Anvil and its myriad satellite settlements, the Gold Coast has no shortage of resting places. Today, we'll evaluate those taverns, inns, and travel stops along the Gold Coast. Taking on the perspective of a traveler, we will determine if there are truly any commendable inns in this bustling hub. Nestled like a gem along the Gold Road between Anvil and picturesque Kvatch, the Gottschalk Inn is one I was tempted not to include. But there really wasn't any alternative for its placement given, the circumstances. Any inn along the Gold Road gets at least 2 points due to the sheer number of cities opened up to its travelers. But the Gottschalk is right outside of Kvatch, a major city, south of Such, a lore city, and partway to Anvil. While the events of the game do put a damper on its usefulness, its locale and history is particularly important. While it might compete with the convenience of other nearby properties, it still nets a 5 out of 5 for in-universe location. Similarly, no quests start here, which would normally be a sharp demerit in the questing category. But the Gottschalk's proximity to Kvatch gets it at least a 2 out of 5 for main quest adjacency. Its interior is a simple, bifurcated space with a local guard presence that gives the Gottschalk an image of safety and comfort. A fully furnished sitting room and tavern firmly separate the inn from the bar, which is a rare delight in the game's interiors. The second floor space is likewise decorated and boasts ample sitting space. Unlike other inns you'll see on our list, the Gottschalk feels safe and comfortable without sacrifice. 5 out of 5 for atmosphere. Travelers will be happy to know that the Gottschalk has 3 primary rooms available. A suite, a deluxe single, and a standard single bed offer a variety of rooms at a variety of price points and security levels. Built for a wide range of travelers and a clear smattering of different demographics, the Gottschalk ironically does a better job of catering to its visitors than many city-based properties do. For this, it nets a solid 4 out of 5 in the rooms category. Unfortunately, the Gottschalk, for all its pluses, is not without its weaknesses. In addition to having low relevant quest proximity, the inn lacks key services. A staffed bar and a publican do keep it relevant to casual travelers, but there's little reason to show up for mercantile training, which is unfortunately the chemo skill of the property's sole trainer. Still, at 10 gold, this budget inn caters well to its clientele and offers a solid, safe space to spend the evening for any traveler. It is a solid stop before visiting the Brina Cross Inn later on your journey along the Gold Road. All in all, the Gottschalk is an unexpectedly above par experience in a well under par area. It nets a 3.8 out of 5. Further along the road, the Brina Cross Inn rests just before the coastal city of Anvil. And why not rest at the Brina Cross Inn? A premier location and a solid slate of room types grants reprieve to travelers both weary and discerning. Conveniently located along the curve of the Gold Road, the Brina Cross is your last stop before Anvil or your first stop out of the city. Because of its inevitability in visiting the Imperial City and its many satellites when entering from the port, the Brina Cross Inn earns a 5 out of 5 location score for its sheer inevitability. On that note, it also scores high in quest adjacency, being a required stop for anyone hoping to join the Mages Guild. Frankly, I'm not happy that you're mugged here. I feel as if that should be a demerit, but at the same time, that quest is often touted as one of the most introductory quests to the systems in Oblivion. It earns a 4 out of 5 on quest adjacency for simplicity, fun, and the taste of adventure that quest offers. Another one of the Brina Cross's strong points is the service category. The tavern area is well equipped. 3 tables and a bar bring to mind the image of a warm, comfortable night with friends, the capstone to a long trip, the first stone in a bridge of adventure yet to be built. The barkeep is a blunt trainer who can direct you to the blunt master. It's hard to imagine much more from a roadside inn, but patient travelers may wait for better amenities further down the road, either in Anvil or back at the Gottschall. A solid 4 out of 5 in the service category. It's hard to imagine not feeling at home in a place like this. Cozy lighting and simple furniture paint the Brina Cross as a sort of picture-perfect fantasy tavern. Food-laden tables orbit the main door, travelers converse into the evening, and the dust manages to present as a feature instead of a bug. You can warm yourself by the fire on either of the inn's primary floors or on the main landing. A guard presence along the road is great for invoking safety, but you do literally get mugged here, so that is going to be a demerit on that count. Sharing a table with a mugger makes the entire thing a little bit awkward if you're coming in advance and you know what's coming, but the landing space and the abundance of dining room keeps this a 3 out of 5 in the atmosphere category for the Brina Cross Inn. The rooms are likewise alright. The walls are dusty and tarnished by wear, but it has a charming quality to it. There are a solid variety of rooms for all types of travelers if you can ignore the garish decor, but unfortunately, like many of Cyrodiil's inns, a lack of privacy cheapens the experience. Natural light is lovely, but being able to hear conversations in the next room because the walls don't reach the ceiling is less than ideal. The room type variety is also hurt by the inn's most unique feature. Unlike other inns, one of its rooms has a 20% chance to leave you with yellow tick, an annoying disease which makes me think the place has bedbugs. An optimist gives the Brina Cross a 3 out of 5 here. The bed that has yellow tick in it cannot normally be slept in, but it is worth noting. Thankfully, disease risk aside, the Brina Cross only costs 10 gold a night, netting it a 5 out of 5 in value. You'd be stupid to spend the money anywhere else, provided that you haven't been mugged and already lost it. It is inarguably the best inn on the Gold Road. It falls short of being the best inn in County Anvil, but not by much. Complex locks, quality amenities, and an often necessary quest make it a frequent stop for travelers and adventurers alike, and the low cost makes certain that it punches well above its weight class. The Brina Cross Inn earns a 4 out of 5 in total score. Moving into the city of Anvil itself is an easy task. Thanks to roadside entrances and dockside entrances, we are offered an abundance of different routes into and out of the city. Similarly, we are offered an abundance of different places to stay as travelers along the road, or coming in from port. If you're a traveling seaman, the forecastle might be your first stop. A forecastle, also known as a forecastle, is the upper deck of a sail ship found at the front of the foremast. If the significance of this escapes you, the name is a titty joke, just in case, you didn't get it, or in case you expected any better from Anvil's docks, or Mirabel Monet. Monet advertises the forecastle as a night you'll never forget, stating, "Our tea and crumpets taste better and last longer than any in Anvil, and there's always a wench to keep you company." Other handbills note that the forecastle features warm beds and great company. The serving wenches are always available for conversation. And admittedly, the service in the forecastle is very high quality. Hall's ropes faster, a journeyman athletics trainer, makes this location's services at least somewhat relevant to most adventurers. There are better trainers in better places, but it's hard to beat the convenience if you're near the docks anyway. Other than his presence, one may be surprised to learn that the illustrious Mirabelle Monet is also a journeyman sneak trainer, which I suppose sneaking from bed to bed does require some skill. Regardless, her presence and his presence renders a 4 out of 5 the likeliest outcome in the service category for the forecastle. As with Anvil's other premier dockside inn, the forecastle can be found right along the coast and is oft brimming with seamen. A classic location and easy access for its clientele makes it a great stop to drop by, but unfortunately the rowdy crowd outside does detract from its charm in the middle of the night. Sleep quality is similarly likely affected. 4 out of 5 for location. Speaking of sleep quality, it's hard to expect privacy staying at a place like the forecastle. The walls are sturdy but low, and any conversation you may have risks being overheard. At the same time, there is a price you must sometimes pay for flexibility, and that privacy may be it. The forecastle has a room type for everyone. A suite, a double, a single, you name it. Considering that room service is technically a selling point, I suppose the forecastle earns at least a 2 out of 5 in the rooms category. Low sleep quality, but high flexibility, a variety of different room types, and room service. Those are definitely good points to salvage a low score. Now, unfortunately, there's very little reason to stay at the forecastle. Other than the fact that you cannot physically stay there, there is no way to rent a room, there are no quests that bring you to the forecastle. There is a quest directly across the street, and several NPCs from the Serpent's Wake quest do meander in and out of its many occupied rooms, so it earns at least a 1 out of 5 for quest adjacency, even if it has no quest relevancy. All in all, the forecastle is a crusted sock on a rusty door handle. Cramped with little privacy and very scant availability, it presents just enough utility and charm to see some seamen pass through now and again. Keeping in mind that it is a no-go for non-sailors and non-seamen, its sad atmosphere would render it a hard pass even without that restriction. However, it does have the unique trait that its bathrooms are scented by crushed peppermint to ward off bad smells. So at least there's that. Key to note is that right down the road is the Flowing Bowl. Located but 3 buildings down, the Flowing Bowl asks the question, how far can gumption and a prime location truly carry a business? Thanks to its location planted firmly along the docks, the Flowing Bowl is a simple, easy stop for sailors making their way into or out of Cyrodiil. It's hard to beat a good stop on the waterfront. Unlike the forecastle, the Flowing Bowl is also closer to Anvil's dock entrance, earning it a 5 out of 5 for location. Another one of the Flowing Bowl's strengths is that one of the game's funnest quests, the Siren's Deception, passes through the inn. That alone does make it a standout. While all of Oblivion's quests are memorable, this one was one of my favorites as a child, and it remains a favorite of mine to this day despite its simplicity. It's also worth noting that you visit the Flowing Bowl as a part of a Fighter's Guild quest, earning the Flowing Bowl a 4 out of 5 for quest adjacency and relevancy. The Flowing Bowl touts itself as a great place to eat. Its handbills cite a special where they're putting twice as many leeks as normal into their soup. It encourages you to bring a friend, to share in the bar's atmosphere, and the twins do a lot to carry the place. The interior is lightly furnished and straightforward, though more than a little cramped. The fireplace warms the weary and the tables are laden with food, but it's easy to imagine the place growing uncomfortably hot even on a cool night due to a lack of real space. I can't imagine that this fireplace is pleasant to be around given how tight the interior is. And as more bodies fill it up to enjoy the dinner special, I feel as if that only makes it worse. Due to that cramped interior, the Flowing Bowl unfortunately drops to a 3 out of 5 in the atmosphere score. Still, as mentioned, its two hosts do make the Flowing Bowl a lovely establishment, even if it's not a very lovely inn. Cainlorn and Mainlorn, the twins in blue and brown, do a lot to at least add some unique traits and qualities to the inn. Even without many amenities or trainers, a unique pair of gauntlets keeps the inn's service score alive at a 2 out of 5. Now, the biggest problem with the Flowing Bowl is its lack of availability. Despite its amazing location and personable hosts, it has only 2 rooms and neither are available for rent. They could do a lot more to capitalize on the forecastle's limited clientele if they worked on an expansion. The building has been around for centuries after all. It features an ESO as a separate building. But for now, its well-secured 2 rooms boast only 1 bed each, rendering the property insufficient to meet the needs of the area and leaving it at a somewhat sad 1 out of 5. Due to its truncated occupancy limit and the lack of space, it's hard to recommend the Flowing Bowl to a casual visitor or traveler, even if they could rent a room here. At the same time, it's hard to send them elsewhere. Anvil lacks a mid-range boutique inn, and that lack truly glares due to places like the Flowing Bowl, which leave much to be desired but show real potential. Thankfully, there are other inns once you enter the city's limits. The Count's Arms, well touted by the locals and located just through the historic Dock Gate, is an upscale inn that represents a jewel in the crown of the Gold Coast's many luxuries. It's easily distinguished from its competition by its price point, clientele, and spacious atmosphere. It's also the only one of Anvil's inns you can actually sleep at. One of the many key strong points of the Count's Arms is that the quest Where Spirits Have Lease starts here. Considering that's a quest that gets you a very cheap house, as long as you're okay to do some ghost busting, the inn's resident quest relevancy is a 5 out of 5. Owning property is important in Cyrodiil, and having a convenient place to store your goods, especially in a city without a mid-range inn, is very important. If you're doing a lore playthrough or a role-playing playthrough, it's very important to get that space. Especially because, on the value front, the Count's Arms is the highest cost inn in the area. At 25 gold a night, it's difficult to judge the value. It's conveniently located if you're coming to Anvil by ship and don't have a house, and it's hard to say the rooms aren't worth a pretty penny. It's definitely more pleasant than its competition within Anvil, and it's hard to imagine something better cropping up, but I can imagine something better elsewhere in Cyrodiil. The Count's Arms scores a 4.5 out of 5 on the value category. And, like other inns, you almost cannot beat this location if you're arriving by ship. The inn can be found just outside of the dock gate, and while not literally on the water, it isn't far. Still, it's a little bit inconvenient for travelers coming by road, not far from the stores, but relatively far from the primary entrance of the city, and a bit far from the city's guild halls. The Count's Arms scores a 4 out of 5 on location. It also scores a 4 out of 5 on service. The tavern area itself is well stocked, but there's only one barkeep, and no reason to go out of your way other than the necessities that power travel itself. Spaciousness, privacy, and simplicity keep it a solid contender within the city's walls. Skilled trainers for acrobatics and security elevate the venue even further. Its venue is spacious, well-tended, and clean. The reading nook is an especially nice touch, granting both a place to relax and a place to recharge for the more introverted travelers who haven't come for a drink. There's something for everyone in that sense. The space makes the Count's Arms feel a lot like a personal boutique property. It scores a 5 out of 5 in atmosphere for variety and bifurcation. Its rooms are similarly varied and luxurious. I found the room I was given beyond satisfactory and comfortable, and being able to rent it at all was a plus given Anvil's track record. The locks were less than secure than an inn found on the road, and that was a little bit strange to me. But there's little to complain about here, and I would say the rooms are well outfitted to a wide range of travelers and a wide range of needs. Of note is that the beds in the Count's Arms are allegedly the softest in Anvil, washed after every third customer, no matter how clean or soiled they may be. According to the handbill, the pillows are also twice as soft as those at the Flowing Bowl, but that's hard to prove considering you cannot rent a room at the Flowing Bowl. A night at the Count's Arms is worth every penny, assuming you're functioning on an adventurer's economy and not on a standard citizen's economy, where 5 gold may be more than you see in an entire year, according to that one guy in Shadenhall. The high price point does make it a risky splurge for solo travelers, but it's a must-stop for adventurers whose purses are overflowing with coin to begin with. My only real gripe with this property is the fact that its locks are weaker than those found elsewhere in Anvil and along the road. Maybe it's a sign that break-ins are few and far between, or maybe it's a sign that its proprietor doesn't want to spend the money on a better, more complex lock. There's not really a way to tell. Regardless, the Count's Arms scores a 4.6 out of 5. With that, all of Anvil's inns have been properly rated and sorted accordingly. The Count's Arms are a stark contrast to the shameful Forecastle and the aspirant Flowing Bowl, while the Brina Cross and Gottshaw inns offer warm welcomes to weary travelers. Do you agree with my criteria? Do you reject my opinion? Let me know in the comments section below, and if you like the video, make sure to leave a like.